Greetings, and shalom. No, I am not Jewish. However, my very first boyfriend, it was. And shalom is a beautiful greeting. Just like ciao in Italy. It could say hello, it could say goodbye, but usually it's goodbye. And so today marks my day going forward. I have left the people behind that I first met because Kat is going on dating adventures. But right now it's the season of the holiday, and that means it's November and December of 2024, and I'm going within. And I'm communicating this, and I have communicated it, that I am not meeting in person, there's no hurry, and if this guy is still available in 2025, let's see if there's some compatibility, shall we? But in the meantime, I'm taking a look at what's changed for me doing the work that I've been doing on myself. Now, my followers know I'm a work in progress, and this is my guidebook, which is a recovery for the narc abuse escapee. And it's kind of a fun guidebook. Like, to me, if you were ever in Girl Scouts, as I was, you had these sashes and you would get your dabbler badge or your campfire badge or your archery badge or something that had to do with being outside, having a skill of some kind. I remember I had to learn how to sew something in order to get a certain badge. And I like that. I'm not a feminist. I think that learning how to sew is a very critical skill, as well as an artful one. And we're going to go there too, because I recently have started rekindling that interest, because what I would like to do is actually turn my clothes into works of art. And the first project is going to be the one that are my Levi 505s, which the dog Diesel tore open into a jagged mark down at the shin on the right side, on the right leg. So those will be the first project on creative mending. And I talked about that in the podcast then. I called it something else. These aren't live, I'm calling them podcasts because it's a representation of the ability to yammer on for a while. Also, I get to go back and use snippets from my iMovie compilations, which is always fun. And I get to go, you were on a train of thought there, choo-choo, and you missed it. Or you picked it up at the wrong time, or it loops around and I become delighted by my own presentations. Cheers to that. This is water. It's been filtered. I added some Redmond's real salt. And this is good too, but I'm not a doctor and this is not medical advice. But if you're interested, email me or text me or ask in the body below. Essentially, you want to do your own research on that. What is boron, B-O-R-O-N? How does this trace element affect us, benefit us? What does an overdose look like? Is it possible? What countries have it in their soil at a high level? And where are there degenerative diseases and osteoporosis at a minimal? So look at those correlations. There's white papers on it by real doctors. I'm just a guide. I'm just the IT yoga guide, inner transformation yoga guide. That's me. Eventually, my skill set will be such that I will take your money to be your personal coach. But right now, I'm not. I'm working it through. I'm a work in progress. So I am not going to tip the apple cart. No way. I'm still in recovery. See, the book is still being written. So I want to make it fun, like I had experienced in my years as a Girl Scout, learning how to obtain skills, because in doing that, in doing a dancing skill and learning how to stretch and do ballet bar and how to do pas de bourrées and whatnot. I mean, like, it just arabesque, anyone? I mean, it really gave me, and then stretching at the bar and first and second, all the different positions of your body. Like, if you ever see me dance, you'll see that I do have some classical training, but I also have training in belly dance, and everyone knows my channel, that yes, I was that stripper, that college student that worked their way through college, showing it. I stayed in great shape though, I tell you. So we got through most recently my discussion with the controller who had the grief, and he wore like a cloak. And he wanted to be this person who was actually catered to. It was weird. He wanted me to go after him. And I was like, oh gosh, you can spot narcissists now. So until you can actually go onto a dating site without becoming insecure, stay off of them. I'm more amused. Now, I also met two guys organically, and there have been many men, actually. I look back at it. I mean, there's this guy that still emails me. And it's like, dude, we're not a couple. You're married, you know? So, like, there are whack jobs, but you have to know that, with all due respect, you just have to go non-contact with them. You know, you explain it once, they don't get it. You're the dunce if you keep going back and explaining it to them. Just like, stop answering. So that's what I did. But at first, you know, I honestly am earnestly interested in helping my mankind, especially men who need a lot of help, because they obviously have been messed up in the head by porn. And because of my unique position as having been in the adult entertainment industry, because yes, I was a peep show artist. No, I did not do the jobs, but the jobs were going on, okay? That's what I realized the Listerine bottles were all about. I was like, why do these girls need Listerine bottles? They get tired of talking? Huh? And then I found out, and I was like, whoa. All I did was the phone sex. I'm the creative. You notice I like to talk. I had a different stage thing, though. I'm not going to tell you what that is. That's a bonus. You have to pay for that information. There's no price on it. I'm just kidding. I'm just not going to tell you because it's in the book. But anyway, I'm looking for a publisher to give me a, what do you call it? When they, an advance and a contract for the 2 books. I've got some good juicy stuff, man. And it's not just about taking your clothes off. It's about also having been a apprentice to Indian Joe, who wanted to have sex with me too. He said that it was important for me to show that I trusted him and that I was giving him everything to be his student. And I said, what? Whatever happened to tobacco and blankets? Wasn't that enough? Apparently not. Oh. I tell you what, I have information about that. It's in the book. I'm not going to go any further. But I do know this for certain. Old men still like to have sex. They're just not going to be rock hard, you know? And not all men know how to do it. And if you are not into it, girls, don't do the mercy fuck. I mean, don't. Like I did, not then. That was a curiosity factor. And then I called him on it and I said, listen, it's not for you. I said this to him in the desert. And I had spread a blanket out and we were hanging out and he decides we're going to get frisky. And I didn't want to, of course. And then a hawk started circling and calling all around us. And I was saying to him, it is not for you to decide because sex is a powerful tool. And the one time was bonding. But now you want it for pleasure. And then he stopped becoming my teacher. But I held my power and I learned as much as I could from him. So that's concurrent. So that brings us to, you know, now in our time period of now. And because I worked in the peep show and knew about the porn booths and had to buy my entertainment toys, I did phone sex and I did demonstrations with sex toys. Yes, I did what OnlyFans girls do now. And yes, I'm a traumatized child. And yes, I had to get out of the house because I had a pathologically narcissistic mother and a father who just put his head down and worked. He was born in 1930. They're from a different period of time. Men were hands off. You know, when I was born, as well as my siblings, they actually had to go to the nursery and hold up a card that said, baby girl, me. He had to have the right ticket, like a coat check or a hat check. And then they would bring the baby up to the window. That's how we were brought into the world in the 60s, in 1963. Yeah. My father wasn't there in the operating room or the labor room, excuse me. Just bizarre. You know, how things have changed. But nothing has changed when it comes to porn other than it's gotten uglier, more ridiculous. And men are stupid and they don't know how to do it. And that's the other thing that I did when I worked at the peep show, was when I would charge men for sex ed classes. And I would tell them all about the clitoris and the labia and the vulva entry and... Is that the word? No, sorry. What? My own female parts. But anyway, the labia. And then what a hymen would look like if you have a virgin. Just the various sensitive areas and how you can tell a woman's readiness and how to pleasure her. And men seem to have this cock-oriented attitude. And either that or I'm imagining things, but I'm pretty certain that it all started with circumcision, and people should look into that and how it desensitizes and then makes things crazy. Take a look at think about the CAT scan, the brain activity of a newborn who's unanesthesized. They can feel it and they have that experience, because you can't take a baby and put it under anesthesia. At birth. And now, though they're still doing it, people are still doing it, it takes away the protection of the tip of the penis, which makes it bop around in the pants and always come in contact. Girls, you have a hood on a clitoris for a reason. The hood on the clitoris matches the foreskin that goes over the head of the penis. And without it, men become desensitized and they need more and more. And then the porn messes them up, and then they basically aren't satisfied. And then they want to do assholes. And that's disgusting. That is so disgusting. That is so gross. That's where the poop goes. It's not hip and cool. It's disgusting and gross. So, the holidays are here. Cheers, everyone. I'm having some wine now. Yes, I had a little bit before. I worked today and I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I just have one client and then I'm going to pick up an order for some storage baskets. And here's the other thing I have to show you. I got the Beast blender and infuser. So we're gonna go on some adventures with that. I outgrew my magic bullet. Now I need the Beast. Isn't that funny? It almost sounds like it's sexual. The magic bullet and the Beast. Not to be confused with Mr. Beast. Ugh. So my stove actually is old. This stove that I have here is 18 years old. Half the burners don't work. The other two are berserk, and it makes a better storage cabinet. So this is what I've decided to do, and I'll show you when I finish doing it. I just ordered a custom-made cutting board, not block, like a 1-inch, something like this, but big, with rounded edges like that. And it's going to fit right on top of my electric stove. And then I'm going to use it as a cutting surface, preparation surface. And then I'm going to get a burner that I can prepare food on and then saute, because that's my cooking style. I do like wok style, saute. I very rarely, and then make soup. I very rarely, because I'm solo, do multi courses that are cooking somewhere on the stove. It's always a onesie. And in the event I needed to do that, which is rare, I would then take the cutting board off the top and I would fire up one of the two burners that actually worked, or both of them, to see if they were doing all right. And yes, I know it can be repaired. I know the part. I know the parts store. I just don't know how to do it. And so therefore, I decided I'm not going to. I'm going to leave the whole entire thing undone until I just get a new stove. Because even though you can repair it, I'm going to want a new stove. But in the meantime, it's more trouble than it's worth, and it's taking up more room than it's worth. So it's got valuable real estate I'm going to occupy with my own design. And I'll show you all that later. But my laundry just ended, and I'm going to go change it out. I hope you like that last podcast. I am doing a redo. Like the closet, I discovered why I was having such a hard time. It's because my identity is changing. Who I am is, I'm learning who I am for the very first time. It seems. It's glorious. Okay, more later.